What's up, everybody? Today we are back at it again. We are Miss Producer. What are we listening to today?
Today we are listening to Jin's album,
Right,
the latest one called Echo.
Echo, and with special guest again, Mr. Late Nate himself, Nate Walker.
Watagwan, what's good? Thank you, Frankie Biggz, for having me. Thanks, Irene B, for all the things that you do. And yeah, man, shout out to my channel, Late Nate. And of course, like and subscribe here on Frankie Biggz channel if you haven't already.
Thank you.
And yeah, let's get into it, guys. Let's hear this echo. I'm
All
ready to,
right.
I'm a little chomping at the bit,
Now
guys.
wait. Now before we go and get
Okay.
into it, man. Are you excited about going to see your man Jin in London with us, man, or what?
Absolutely. It's gonna be a big moment, man, for sure. Very excited to see him perform solo. I've never seen him perform solo, so this will be like really dope.
Yeah, he just had a show in LA actually last night, I
Nice.
believe.
Oh,
Yeah.
nice. Yeah,
Yeah, I got this.
I'm in Atlanta right now, but that's super dope.
Yeah. So he's coming. It's that tour is making its way. Okay, Irene,
Nice.
let's go with the first song. What is the first song?
Let's go for the first song. It's called Don't Say You Love Me, and this has a music video, so I thought I would leave you guys with the music video. You've already reacted to the music video, Frankie, but
Yeah, I remember that, but I like this song. Go ahead. Let's do it.
let's do it.
Let's do it.
Don't tell me that you're gonna miss me.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I've already sorry.
Not done yet.
Not done yet. Now,
Yeah. Don't say
okay.
you love me.
Not unless it's for real, man. Uh
Yeah, man.
I already kind of gave my dissertation, but I'll go after you. You first, Nate. What do you think?
I feel like this was a beautifully written and well produced song, right? Um, like in the last when I was just listening to the other project, the I was saying like the correlation I was making to Jen was like he's like right in this in between space of like emo and like pop
Yeah.
and live band and all that stuff. We so I feel like with this one it is a little more, it's like, of course studio, it's like a studio record, but I really like it. To me it just feels good even though it's talking about a deeper kind of topic, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
which to me is like in perfect alignment with who Jin is, right? Because he's as I kind of put it, he's like the dark horse, right?
Right.
and so to me, it's like but he's also super emotional, of course, and he tries hard at everything he does. And so I feel like this is one of those records that definitely feels like it's right in line with who Jen is. You know what I'm saying? He's definitely
Right.
one of those type of guys. Like, don't say you love me if you don't mean it, because he's gonna take it serious. That's what hurts, right? When you really take people serious and turns out they're just playing games all along. It's like nobody wants that. Okay.
Yeah, I absolutely like starting there. Like the concept of the song to me
Hmm.
is a very heartfelt song. It's pretty deep. And I think that for the most part, we've probably all been there. You know what I mean? We've all
Yeah.
kind of been through some crap that people have fed us before. So yeah, concept wise, I think it's really cool. and the chorus about something about I just want you to kill me or something like that. I kind of it's a little weird, but I get what was being said. Now, production wise, I really really I agree with you on the emo thing. It's kind of like, well, if the 80s had an emo phase, right?
Mhm.
The closest thing that the 80s and 90s had to emos would have been goths. They're not really emo like that. Or you had the people that like industrial type music.
Punk
Uh,
rock was
Punk,
close.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I think there's elements of that, definitely. And especially with this track, I can see where it has that 80s
Yeah,
London punk thing to it. You know what I mean? But I do
yeah,
like the nuances. Like I do like the fact that it's they're electronic drums and they're mixed really, really good, really, really well. Actually, if I'm not mistaken, one of the critiques that I do remember saying about this song was there was two things. One, it kind of reminded me a little bit of George Michael's last summer you gave me your
yeah.
heart. Yeah. It reminds me of that. We always hear that nonstop every day here because we have a park across the street and they play that song. So I get to hear that a lot. So when I first heard this, I'm like,
Nice.
yeah, this is this is what it sounds like. Number two, um, I also remember the fact that the drums reminded me of Kelly Clarkson, Since You've Been Gone, in the verses of that. You know what I mean? That
Yeah,
that kind of beat, those sounds like that are very, believe it or not, it's retro punk, like you were saying. You know what I mean? So I just really, really love the way that they formulated everything together, and it's just a really heartfelt tune. Production was
yeah,
great, mixing everything, mastering the top, 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 top. So, all
yeah.
right. Am I focused, guys? Because my eyes are really bad.
I think so. I
I
mean,
look all
I
right,
mean,
man.
you're in
I
a little
have
bitty box for me, so I mean,
Okay.
I
I have
never.
really bad eyes, so
All right. All
they're as
right.
focused as I can see. So
Okay, cool.
we're
What?
going with Nothing Without Your Love.
Nothing without your love. Let's go.
Well, I don't know why it went all the way.
Nothing without your love.
Nate,
Yes, sir.
what say
That
you?
so say me, this, production wise, I loved it because it reminds me of one of my favorite Coldplay songs, um, uh, the streets I used to own, dun, 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 dun. Like I just like
Boy, they've
that.
been in the news lately, Coldplay.
Oh yeah, oh definitely. I saw that. Yeah, they just
What?
ruined a
Two
marriage. It
they
seems.
ruined two
Two.
marriages. That's what you get for cheating, you cheating bastards.
You cheater! Get
Little
out of
cheater. You
here.
got it, man. Now now
Yeah.
now my Facebook feed and Instagram feed is nothing but memes of those two idiots. Look at this
Yo.
photograph.
Yo, I was like I said I brought it up in my last little video, and I was saying how the good news is that at least, clearly both of these people don't want to be in the relationships that they're in,
Right.
and so
Right.
now hopefully this could be a catalyst to either fixing and resolving the issues or just letting the other parts go, the other partners go so that they can, live a more fulfilled life, you know what I'm saying? So hopefully this isn't
Did
like
you
a
see his apology? Did you
who
read his
co
the CEO?
oh no, I didn't see. What'd he say?
What a dude.
What did he
Basically,
say?
I'll just paraphrase it. He basically saying he really wishes something like that artists and entertainers would leave things in the public to the public or something. Basically, it's our fault. He's sorry, but it's our fault. It's the entertainers, it's the entertainment industry, the artists. It's because of us that he got busted cheating. So his apology was kind of like, yeah, I'm sorry.
What? So what? Because the music is so great that the lady he's cheating with wanted to go or something, and
Yeah,
he's
you
like,
you fill in the blanks, but his apology
right.
basically was like, "I wish that we had more privacy in public, and it's because of the artist and everything
It's
else."
called public.
Right,
Like, what do you
right.
mean privacy in public? That contradicts one another. What are you talking
Uh,
about, bro? Don't take her to a public event or
no
gathering
shit. I
if
mean,
you're
what's
trying to
wrong
do
with
some
you?
private stuff. Yeah.
On top of that, you're all comfortable, like you just forgot you were cheating.
I know, right? Like this is your wife, you know?
He's all about it. Anyways,
And
but-
you no, you make a good point because he was enjoying himself with her so much
right.
that they put the spotlight on them. Like,
Yeah,
yo, like those two
yeah,
are in love.
that's right. You know what I mean?
Right.
But but apparently that's an overstep for him. So yeah. Anyways, this track. Geez, we
He's
went on
like,
a whole.
look, it's an overstep when you start putting a camera on me when I'm cheating. It's too much, guys. Okay,
Yeah, but it's not your fault.
that's not cool. Okay,
Right,
I
right,
should be
right.
able to cheat in peace.
What's
Okay,
wrong with that?
I'm like, bro, take her to the
Cheating.
movies. Take her to the movies. Don't
Take it to
take
a
her to the
hotel room.
Coldplay
Shit.
concert.
Over
There's
the
a
public in
right. There's
mass
50,000
public.
cameras in there, bro. Like, what are you
Jeez.
doing? This is not where you cheat. Okay, get out of there.
Anyways,
Or
I
just
like
don't cheat. Take your wife,
right.
take your children to the show. But
I will say this about this track. Getting back to this track, I didn't like I like the song, right? I like the song. And in fact, I'll say I'm gonna give it the hamburger, right? This is a London thing I learned in school. You got to give it the hamburger.
Okay.
So we start off with the good part. The good part is the bun. So the
Yeah.
bun is like, look, I like the song. I love the energy of it. It does bring out this, to me, I reference U2 a lot, especially the Joshua Tree record that had come out. And so I think that there's a lot of influence there on purpose or not. I don't know. You know what I mean? Because if I get a chance to see the guy, I'll ask him. But it
Right.
seems like he has that kind of sound a lot. He really, really likes that London retro sound. And it also kind of correlates a little bit too with like the nuances of U2. You know what I mean? So it's that 80s punk thing with a little bit of YouTube stuff, YouTube. And that album, Joshua Tree, was a big inspiration for a lot of folks. And it seems like that in this time. It would now the burger, the meat. The thing is that I have noticed when I listen to Korean songs that are done in Korea, that are mixed and mastered in Korea, the one thing that I notice is that the drums, especially if they're live drums, they mix them very, very low. I don't know why that is, but it's like that. And the other
Yeah.
thing is they mix the drums low, but they mix the bass really. Like Koreans love bass, man. So I noticed that there's a lot of bass. It's very, very low end, low heavy. You know what I mean? And the drums are just not there ripping your face off. I can hear the drums, and it sounds like a really, really good song to play on the drums. You know, because it's just so, it just lends itself to that whole London thing, man. But I just didn't like the mix, man. I could tell a big difference between the first song that we heard to this song. But I love the
Yeah.
song. The hamburger, the bottom bun is that in the end, I do really, really like the tune. Just in my preference, if it's gonna be live drums, man, bring it out, especially in a song like this because it's moving. You know what I'm saying? You can hear that he's really, really getting on those toms, and that's what makes that sound. That's goes back to what you said about the first one. It brings out the punk. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
It brings out the loudness, the punk of it. And I think that with this song, just the mix by itself, that's the only thing that I think is a miss. That's it. I like the rest of it though. Everything else is cool.
Got it.
All right, Rini. What we got next?
All right, next one will be Loser featuring Yena? I don't know how you pronounce that. I'm guessing it's
Yenna?
You love me, you miss me, you tell me I'm beautiful, baby. Oh, baby, there's something love. You miss me, you tell me I'm beautiful, baby. You need me, I don't wanna let you go.
Yeah,
Okay.
that was dope.
That was. I got a lot to say.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Nate.
That was really good. That was, that's definitely my favorite from the project so far. He does really good with these like duos. I noticed from the last project as well, these duets.
Right,
Um,
right.
but yeah, his voice sounded really, really great on here, like really good.
Yeah.
And I like the pace of the record. I love the transition choices, and how the record transitioned throughout the song. I think those are really, really solid moves. Whoever made those decisions were, they're definitely in tune on the production level. And yeah, it just felt really good, like a really good sound record. Like so far, this is my favorite record from the project.
Oh, cool. Hey, real quick, what kind of mic is that?
Oh, so this is a Sterling mic,
Okay.
and it's actually a uh it has the virtual mic. It's basically like a virtual mic, so it can like emulate like the best mics in the world. And
Gotcha.
so yeah, that's why I got it because I used it once in Miami, and it was really my vocals never sounded better. So I was like, hey, I'm getting that mic.
Is that a USB mic or is it going into it an interface?
No, it goes into an interface.
That's cool. I thought it was a Neumann for a second. That's what I have is a U87,
Yeah,
but it
yeah,
looks like that.
yeah. I'm not a super fan of the Neumanns, even though they're great mics.
What?
Yeah, man.
Blasphemy!
Ah,
now I got a comment.
What
hey, you know what
about the
I
Sony
mean?
mic though?
See, this one emulates the Sony. You know what I'm saying? They can emulate the Sony. That's what I'm saying, bro. We got to get on board with the technology
Okay,
advancements.
I'll have to
Okay.
take a look at that. I
I mean,
mean,
of course, who doesn't love the Sony, right? But it's a
right.
$20,000 mic. You know what I'm saying? It's like, who got time for that, right?
Yeah,
So even the people that have it, they treat it like like Smeagol in the Lord of the Rings.
I
Careful,
would
no
too. Shit.
dodging. Of course, right? But so I'm just like, to me, it's just too much mic, for me, right? Like,
Gotcha.
to actually buy that mic, but. This mic, I love this mic, bro. This is my mic.
All right. So this tune, this is what I think of this tune.
But my favorite mic, let me just be
Oh,
clear.
go
My
ahead. Go
favorite
ahead.
my favorite mic is actually the Manly reference mic.
Ugh.
For for
Whoa.
for anything pop related, bro. Anything pop related, I want the Norman. I'm sorry, I want
Oh,
the
oh.
Manly.
Mm-mm.
Yeah. Yeah.
I hate
Yeah, man.
Manly, man.
Yeah, bro. Cause you can like it just cleans up every vocal in my opinion. So it's like when you're
Uh,
going for that pop sound, it's already in pocket.
it's my opinion. It's just I hate Manly. I have never liked any of that equipment. I've never liked their microphones, their compressors,
Mm.
their
Now the
preamps.
gold, the gold mic is not good. The Manly Gold, the one that costs like 10 grand, not
Maybe
good at
that's the
all.
one because that's the one I'm thinking of is the one that has the gold cap on it. That
Nah.
is
Yeah, that
just
one, that one's trash.
horrible shit,
I don't
man.
know how it's trash and it costs
God,
so much though. I'm like, bro,
I
but
don't
the
either.
reference, the one that only costs like I think like 23 grand or something like that is like really good. That's the one. That's the one you
Yeah,
need.
that's what turned me off about that microphone. Anyways, people, the
Focus, guys.
army
Focus.
is like, what the fuck? Uh,
Night and day though,
I
night
know,
and day.
right?
Yeah, we
Uh,
gotta do a comparison. We're gonna have to do a comparison video.
so here's what I think about this. This is really cool. This is an example of what I was talking about in before, which was that the drums are in your face. You know what I'm saying? They're
Yeah,
kicking ass, man. And
yeah,
and I really, 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 really dig that a lot. Now, this song, believe it or not, kind of brings me to two things. One, it this if it had been mixed in the 80s, right? This would have been a perfect tune like in The Karate Kid. And then the
Yeah.
soundtrack of some of those
It
V
sounds
cut,
like a soundtrack record.
like
Yeah.
a V cut movie, like and I mean, it became, cult classic, but it's kind of has that "you're the best around." It kind of has that themey
Yeah.
80s thing to it, but
Yeah.
it's not as corny and cheesy as that. And I think the other reference to it is because there are parts, especially in the beginning when it starts, and it has all that stuff. It reminds me a lot of the group Night Ranger. Do you remember them? Night Ranger from the 80s? No.
I don't
What
know.
Night Ranger was a really cool group because they kind of infused that LA cheesy movies, B-cup movie kind of inspirational sounds, real happy. Like we just snorted a ton of coke and we're gonna go to the studio and play happy music. I mean, that's kind of what was happening in the 80s back then. And it kind of gives that feel, but Night Ranger kind of took that real cheesy sound and they kind of made it really, really cool. Still having that integrity, that real pop integrity, but bringing just a little bit of the hard edge to it. And on top of that, Night Ranger was just like this song. They were very current with the language. You know what I'm saying? Very current with what they were saying, how they were saying it. And that's why they had so many great hits. And this is what brought me to that, was that it marries that LA cinematic thing with Night Ranger, and I dig it. I really, really like it a lot.
Right.
That's where I'm
Yeah.
at with it.
Okay.
Big difference between the one before.
Yeah.
Shout.
Yeah. Yeah. The drums were
Yeah.
in your
The whole
face.
mix.
Yeah.
It
yeah.
almost
The
seems,
whole
to be quite
mix.
honest,
Yeah.
that the whole mix kind of, I mean, when you listen to this after that, right? You kind of, I think back and it feels like the mix was almost mono than stereo.
Mm.
Because that
That's a
mix
good
was
point.
kind of like a little more mono, tubular, I guess you can say, whereas this song was real big and very spacious. So that's what I think.
And I mean, and also just take on account we are listening through YouTube, which
That's
could,
true. Yeah.
and we're not listening to official channels, so there could be some
Yeah, we're missing
degradation in
some
quality.
quality. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
There's some dithering that's going on. That's not doing well. Go ahead,
Exactly.
Rini. What's the next one?
We're going for Rope It.
Rope it. Oh, okay. Rope it.
포기를 하는 건 사는 법 기본이야
Yeah, he better thrown that horse in there
Mhm.
at the end. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah, that felt like a country bar, like a roadhouse. Like I would find that on the jukebox.
Right.
Put my money in the jukebox. I click that, and then everybody just starts, like, hey, who's this guy? How does he even know this song? And then we just all start breaking out and choreographed dancing together. So that was
Okay.
a really
It's a feel good tune.
yeah, it kind of reminded me of like that country hop, saying kind of vibe,
Yeah.
that's really like popular these days.
It was My Sharona mixed with country. That's
Mm.
what it kind of reminded me of.
Yeah, that's a good
Because
one.
My Sharona is My Sharona,
Yeah.
and I heard that where it's a little slower. So it definitely gives it that happy driving, even the drums. Cha, cha, boo, boo, cha, doo, doo, cha. You know what I mean? It's very, very My Sharona kind of thing. And I really, really dig the country influence with it. It works. It works. And it's like you said, it's that country hip hop kind of thing. And I know that that's big in Atlanta too, in some spots. You know what I mean? Like mixing those things together. And I dig it,
Yeah.
man. Yeah. I dig it. I love the mix, man. The mix is
Yeah.
really cool. You can hear different things. I've heard a harmonica way back here.
Yeah.
I heard that kind of, just little
Yeah.
things, little
Did you hear
twangy
the
things coming.
banjo? You
I
hear the
did. I
banjo?
did.
Yeah.
So I thought that was
Yeah.
really dope, man. Yeah, I love bluegrass music. Bluegrass music to me
Yeah.
that is the country music that I really respect the most, is that just for the musicianship The fact that
Yeah.
those banjo players, man, that's some shit. If you can play banjo, you are a bad boy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
No, that's
and
true.
so I just really, really dig those influences like this. And I also little throwback line. He says, when they go low, I go high." Man, throwback Michelle Obama. That was a really cool line that they put in
Yeah.
there. So dig it. I definitely love it.
Yeah, man.
Rainy
All
What's not
B.
to
right.
love? What's not to love?
Yeah, man, it's
Good
dope.
job,
All of it.
Jin. Way to go, bro.
Jin's the
If you
man,
watching
dude.
this, you was cooking on that one, bro. You was
That cat, he's so diverse though. That's the cool thing
yeah,
about Jin. Like
yeah,
okay, so he has a style, right? Like he
yeah.
has his thing. And it is so not what the rest of the guys are doing. You know what I mean? That's what I love
Exactly.
about it. It is
Yeah,
so not what the
true.
other cats are doing, man. Nowhere
And it's a
near.
little, yeah, it's a little like I was saying too with the other project, it's like not what I would have first mindedly expect to come from Jin. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Like it seems like he's really comfortable, like
He rocks
just kind
out,
of
man.
surprising. Yeah, he's like surprising people. He doesn't mind, and he's a rocker. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, he's a rocker, man. We're
It's
going
like
to a rock
live.
concert.
Yeah, we're going to a rock
This is a
concert,
rock
man.
concert, man. I dig that. I really, really, I
Yeah,
like that kind of energy. And this is going to be what I hear is that he has a live band, and the live band is supposed to be like super phenomenal. So
yeah.
we're definitely gonna feel that. What's next, Reenie B?
What
Let's
we got?
go for With the Clouds.
With the clouds. All right, let's do it.
The clouds.
영원히 소멸되지 않는 약속의 단어를 만들자.
Wow.
Hmm.
Nice, nice, nice. I know. I mean, I have a something I heard like that kind of stuck with me from the intro, right? Um, and it could just be me, but didn't you kind of feel like I don't know, like something about that riff that's looped, the guitar?
Yeah.
It feels like a sample of Iris by Goo Goo Dolls.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I
You
can
know what I'm
see it.
saying? Sound
Sure.
like they chopped it, like, you know what I'm saying? Sped it up a little bit, put it into Ableton, you know what I'm saying? And just like kind of, change the key a little. But
It's an interesting loop because the only thing that is on one is the very first note. Everything
yeah,
after that is on the up of one. You know what I
yeah,
mean? So
yeah,
kind of it automatically starts to give you that thing. It
yeah,
kind of reminds me a little bit of Led Zeppelin, and I know that's a big thing to say, but why I say that is because Led Zeppelin, like the reason they stuck out so much was because they never played everything straight four. Everything was like this. Like they would just go into whole sections and they could never just keep like a straight 4/4/4. They had to do something else for example, Kashmir, their song. Do 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 so, and I
yeah,
heard this guy tell me one time, I was like, they always change up, man. They don't ever keep anything straight. He goes, but that's what makes them cool, man.
yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah,
And
man.
this is what this song reminds me of, man. It reminds me a lot in those changing parts, even the fact that that loop is kind of coming up on the one like that, the upbeat of one. I think it's brilliant. It's brilliant.
Yeah,
I wish, and if you guys want to prove me wrong, but those aren't real drums. They sound like it. They definitely programmed them to sound like they
yeah,
were real drums, but those are not real drums. And I think that's what I would have loved to have heard is actually a real drummer playing that. Now, I'm only telling you because of what my ears are saying. If you guys pull the track sheet and it says that somebody played the drums on it, let me know. But I'm willing to bet those aren't real drums. Why do I say that though? Only for the fact that I just feel like I can't wait to see this song live. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Because this is going to be a really, really fun song. overall,
Yeah.
not just the drums, but the guitars, everything just sound amazing. It's gonna be a dynamic song to see being played live. I can't wait.
Yeah. No, I agree with that. I agree with that. And yeah, they're definitely not live drums, but I mean that's just speaks more to the programmability of the production. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like
he did a great
even
job.
yeah, because even that the loop that we're talking about
Yeah,
is like, it's such a precise and precision type of loop and sample, you know what I'm saying? And it runs from end to end, you know what I'm
yeah,
saying? So you can tell that it was the first thing that was done, which I believe is a sample, you know what I'm saying? And maybe they
yeah,
sampled themselves. And then it feels like yeah, they just programmed everything on top accordingly. And it feels like the sampled voice kind of feel, the sped up voice feels like that was done probably last, because it feels like they took a piece of Jin's vocal to do that. What do you
yeah,
think?
yeah. No, I agree. They did that before on the record that you and I RM's record. There was a point, and somebody had mentioned it in the comments because I said, you know what? That just sounds like it was it was either that or it was V. I can't remember, but I think it was V now that I think of it. But they took his vocals and that he previously had sang, and then they did something weird with it. They pitched it up and did something, but I just knew I thought, oh man, that just sounds too much like him, even sped up. And somebody told me that indeed that's what it was. That it was so
Yeah.
I know they like to do stuff like that. And to be quite honest with you, the only other group that I've ever seen do something like that, and this is crazy, is NWA.
Oh,
NWA
nice.
used to sample themselves all the time on their records like that. You know what I mean? I
Yeah.
really Dre was the first person I ever saw doing some shit like that. You know what I mean? That he
Yeah.
would pull different samples from like Easy's record or something like that, and he would put it in to that record to kind of, and these are just little drops, like
Yeah.
whatever. You know what I mean? So I think
Yeah.
that's really clever that they did that, and I agree with you. I think that's exactly what that is. That's his voice somewhere that they probably added last, and I can
Yeah.
understand why too, because if you think about it, without that sample, this would be a different song.
Yep.
You know what
Yeah,
I mean?
exactly. And I do that too. Like, a lot of my songs in production and like when we're songwriting for people, like we sample because we make so much music and then like also we've had issues, right? Anyone who's been in the industry long enough, you always have issues sometimes clearing samples. And
Yeah,
so there was, I think, probably back in like 2018, like me and a bunch of my like creative partners, we were just like, yo, we should like just focus on creating our own samples, sampling
yeah,
ourselves and things like that. So, which actually is way easier and way better
yeah,
than you would even imagine, just because with when you're sampling yourself, you can pretty much make the sample do what you want it to do. You know what I'm saying? So when you're hearing something, you're like, oh, I wish it would say this, or I wish I had something to do this. You could just do it. And then, and when you're doing it with the sample in mind, it all works out. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah.
and it doesn't, it
Well,
doesn't
that's
have
how
to
I
be
met
perfect.
Eminem's producers, the Jeff and Mark Bass in
Mm.
Detroit, was because we were doing my brother's record, who was signed to
Mhm.
Warner. We had done that record, and the producer had asked me to kind of like put samples, through it because people were sampling. So I did, and then he brought Jeff and Mark in to the Funky Bass Brothers to come in and put their samples and stuff. But right about that time, they had changed the sample laws, and like they were coming after everybody, man. So we had to back on up because the record was already almost done and mixed, and we had to call these guys back in along with me to try to recreate the samples that we had put in. It was a bitch to try to do that because especially when you're using like in the time frame was the 90s, 90s, 89, 90, you know what I mean? So trying to replicate James Brown samples is a bitch,
Yeah.
especially the drums and all that kind of stuff. You know what I mean? That he was using for Lynn Collins and stuff like that. Those were very, very, and Funky Drummer. Those were like his signature drum beats that everybody at that point was trying to copy. It Funky Drummer, I can play it, so it's not so bad. You can actually get away with playing it. But the Lynn Collins, It Takes Two, those drops in that song that everybody used. I don't know how he did it. I don't know how they got that sound in those drums, but anyways, the point was to trying to remake all that stuff. Yeah. So it was just really cool that he's able to use the stuff like that in his music, resample something that he's done and float it through. I think that's clever shit, man.
Nice. Nice. Yeah, yeah, I agree. And it's funny you mentioned James Brown because a buddy of mine, he's a producer, Marley Waters, shout out to Marley Waters. But he did a really cool song that was like everyone thought it was James Brown because he wanted like a vocal sample where we wanted something like James Brown, right? But
Right.
we wanted James Brown to say something that he hadn't said. So what he found is Mystical. You remember Mystical, the
Oh
rapper?
yeah.
Yeah, bro. When when you sample him, he sounds just like a James Brown
I
sample.
guess you could say that. Yeah.
It's so
Yeah.
crazy. You know what I'm saying?
So
So
he
he
sampled
used,
Mystical being Saint James Brown.
yeah, he sampled Mystical saying "Get down on the floor," and it was like this perfect, get down on the floor. It was dope though. I can't do it like Mystical or
Mystical's
James
he's
Brown.
got a cool voice, man.
Very unique voice, yeah. But
Yeah. Give me
yeah,
lie
that
to me, Joe.
was. Hey,
He's
it's
just
pretty
so
good.
yeah,
Okay.
man. I used to love Mystical and the whole Master P records, man, especially
Me
Ghetto
too.
Fabulous. That was my record.
Yeah, No Limit
Ev-
Records, man.
No Limit was putting them out back then,
Yeah,
man.
I'm
And
still I'm still waiting on all the. Remember, like at the end of the book, he'll show like the coming soon. Like
yeah, man.
I'm
He
still
always
waiting
had
on.
that. Everybody with their
Yeah,
jewels and mansions and cars
yeah,
and shit and pit bulls and money.
exactly. I was like, yo, I'm still waiting on that, man. Like, yo, some of them joints I really want to see.
Oh my God, he was such a master at that shit, man.
Yeah,
Ghetto
definitely.
Fabulous, the man right chair. Uh,
Yeah.
all of those hits, man, those drums, that production, everything he did was just, and he used those basses like, wow. Cause I used to have 15s in my trunk. You know what I mean? So,
Hey, you was knocking.
oh, I was
Okay.
knocking big all the time. I was a
Yeah.
lowrider, man. So
Okay.
I was always just doing that stuff, man. And I used to love listening to his records so much, man, because it's had so much bass. Anyways, we're talking about Jin. Let's get back to it.
Yeah.
Randy, what do we got next?
Next one is called Background.
All right, let's go. Background.
아직 난 거기 살아 너의 세상이다 나였던 계절에 I'll be here in the background
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a big record. That record is gonna feel really good to hear live. Like you
Yeah.
could tell it's one of those that wow, that's a stadium record. But
Yeah. Anthem. Very anthem like.
yeah.
No, I still say that my reference here again is Night Ranger. Like that
Mm,
just has that big stadium, big hit 80s sound to it. And I really, really dug the production of it. The guitars, first time that I've heard this where the guitars are actually playing in standard and then they're doubled and then they're taken down a whole octave and played again and doubled again. And then I
mm,
could hear the pans in the performances, which I thought was cool because that kind of gives it a natural dynamic of space. You know what I mean?
yeah.
So the master guy doesn't have to be so to try to fill that stereophonic space like that. It's already being done with the guitar. So I dig it. I also like the drums. Um I just dig the way that they were mixed. They were very, very acute sounding. The and it kind of makes that it gives those toms, like character to the song, to the bass and everything else. And the bass is
Yeah.
moving in this song. You're not unless you're really, really paying attention, man. There's a lot actually going on with the bass player. He's doing a lot of shit. And I think
Absolutely.
there's just a lot of chord stuff going on, especially when the breakdown comes. We're going to a whole different key. You know what I mean? Like we go into something completely different, and that's when that bass really shines out. Do you think the only thing that I'd be missing out of this would have been the bass? Because of the way that the bass was moving, it would have been really nice to if he used a fretless bass and we heard more of the woo, those kind of, double notes thing. It called for that. You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
it's all right. Still landed well. I like the tune a lot. I dig it. I like the way that it was mixed and mastered. Very cool.
Yeah.
Greeny B.
Yeah.
All right, we're on to the last one. It's called
All right.
To Me Today.
To Me Today. Let's go.
1, 2, 3, 4. 햇살 비춘 아침 그 틀린 어제의 날 내게를 펴
Yeah. Yeah, that was it's like this album, I feel like they were, there's some really big records in here, like some things that, it just reminds me of like a lot of like big artists from the 80s, like who had those big, big records, the Neil Diamonds and all that, just
Yeah.
big records. So yeah, man, this was dope. You know what I'm saying? I don't feel like the drums were live though. The one before this, I felt they were live, but this one, I didn't really feel like they were live.
I'll say
It could
this.
be.
I'll say this, that it first started off like because I could hear the clicks that she's and it sounded what to me sounded like there are parts of it that were live, and
Mhm.
there's the chorus and everything that wasn't. But I will say this, I it's hard to judge whether those were live drums or not because they felt like they were. But then again, there were moments where it didn't feel like that. But I will say this. Whoever mixed this song had to have had their hands in the second song that we listened
Yeah.
to, that I told you the drums were real low and the bass was up there. Now, and here's why I say that.
Mm.
Although they didn't repeat that mixing faux pas like that, you know what I mean? They didn't
Yeah.
do it that way with this song because the drums are pretty there. They used the same trick when they mastered, which was that one, you notice that this song again sounds very mono. It doesn't sound big. It sounds mono. It sounds like this is the same studio that they did the second song, like the same engineer, same mixing, mastering guys. Because the other thing is the white noise that they're using in the chorus is loud,
Mm.
and that's something that I noticed in that second tune. The truth is, look, you can use white noise when you master and when you mix something. You use it usually you use it where you can barely hear it, and you
Right.
set it on top of the mix so that it brings out that mix. It distinguishes the verses and the segues, and then the chorus. When the chorus comes up, that's when you lift up the white noise to sit upon the mix like that, and it saturates it more. You know what I'm saying? So it gives it more of a flat sound, which then in turn the master guy can really, really bump up that part. That's what that white noise makes way to do. Problem is, problem is, it's if you use too much of it, it can make your sound more narrow. It can eat up your mix. And then there's parts that's what I hear is happening. I hear that happening. I heard that happen in the second tune, and I'm hearing it here. That
Mhm.
the utilizing of the white noise during that process is just a little too much. It saturates it to the point where it starts to sound like that. You know what I mean? That's kind of what you get, this real pasty thing to the mix.
Yeah, kind of makes it mayonnaise. But,
Yeah, it does. And
yeah.
it just unfortunately it has a way of just, how can I say it? It just eats your mix, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It eats it. It just sucks up the
The
that
dynamic range that
yeah,
can,
yeah, yeah.
yeah,
So,
really.
but now as far as the song is fun. And again, it goes back. It's just one of these fun 80s tunes. And
Yeah.
like we used to call it funny pop. And this is why I say this, because I made a reference and you're like, what? Back in LA, back in the 80s, like that, a lot of those hair bands, man, those guys were obviously doing a lot of drugs and shit like that. But the funny pop thing came in when they started making like these dudes would seriously do this. Like they would just do a lot of drugs, mostly coke, and then they'd go in and write these jingles and these songs that were like very happy, funny pop. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of
Yeah.
weird because if you follow like, you know, if you like big movies, then there's the B movies. You know what I mean? The horror movies and so the production with the music kind of follows suit. You know what I mean? So in the B class movies, a lot of the those movies back then had these type of songs
Mhm.
that were on these soundtracks that they were so cheesy and very fast. You know what I mean? These guys went in there and
Right.
just and then let's go, car, get the door. You know what I mean? And they
Yeah.
would do all that. So it's cool. It's a really cool throwback. My only thing to it is I love the tune. I love everything about it. And I just again him, I just loved his mind. I love how he's thinking about his records. But I can tell that in this scenario, I can tell from one song to next that it's not very fluid sonically. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
I feel like each song is definitely was done with different people, with different producers, different mixers, different masters. I could be wrong, and I hope that I am, but I don't think that I am. You know what I mean? I think that's why
Mhm.
it's really important in projects to have a lead producer, to have a lead engineer, somebody that's going to be able to work with different people on different songs, but at the same time, at the end of the day, it's very important for the producer and the engineer, usually it's the same person, to be able to glue all of that stuff together, sonically mix it so that when it goes from one end to the other end of the record, everything, although as different as it may be, everything has that one sound. There's a
Cohesive.
yeah,
Yeah.
there's continuity to the mix and everything. And
Yeah.
unfortunately for this record, I don't hear that. I don't hear that kind of continuity. That doesn't make it a bad record. You heard everything that I'm saying. I love every one of these tunes.
Yeah.
It's a record full of separate songs, is what it
Yeah.
is. And that's my only feedback
Sure.
on that is that it doesn't sound like it's fluid through the whole tune. And just
Yeah.
that song, number two song, and then this song, it solidifies what I'm saying. Like even the volumes are different, Nate. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
the volumes are very, very different in so and with all that white noise, they couldn't have bumped it up anymore. They really kind of had to either keep it that way or bring everything else down to that level, which
Yeah.
would have been a really, really quiet record. You know what I mean? So
Well, what I will say, just a disclaimer again, because we are listening to kind of like third party
that's
sources,
true.
right? So sometimes there's that. And then also, it does, what you're saying does make sense. I mean, anyone who's, as you know, like these artists travel a lot, you know what I'm saying? Like artists that are working, they're always on the go. So when I'm working with artists, they're always working with, we're working with different engineers. They don't really care, most of them don't have like that like set engineer that mixes or records all their music. And sometimes
Right.
even if the same engineer is doing the final mix and master, there's still um could be discrepancies in how each song was recorded, you know what I'm
Yeah,
saying, that the
absolutely.
mixing engineer just can't overcome without, offsetting something else. So, it happens. So yeah, but I agree with you, man. It definitely, from what we heard, like each record did have its own like, feel to it that wasn't consistent.
But live, I bet you this is just going to be dope because
Yeah.
now,
Yeah.
because there is consistency live. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because it is the same drummer, it is the same musicians,
Yeah.
and they're learning that tune. And that to me is what glues what's going to glue what I said. We're going to hear that glue when we see it live, and I think that's when this album is going to make a little more sense sonically. You know what I mean?
Yes, sir.
Sonically, only sonically. I'm not saying anything creatively or anything because I like everything.
Yeah.
So, well, that's that record. I want to tell you, it's a great record. I can't wait to see it live again for the 50th time, and to
Yeah.
see it with you is going to be really cool too, man. So
Yeah,
I'm sure
man.
we'll come back and
Woo!
to our comments and take a look. But yeah. While we're there, meaning while we're
What's
there, we'll
your
have a lot to say.
Yeah.
what's your favorite song, guys?
Uh,
Stupid Love for me. That was
I
that
think the
was
last one for me. Yeah,
nice.
The
Nice.
yeah.
last one. So to me today,
To me today is my favorite.
And yours, you said Stupid
The
Love,
stupid, yeah.
Loser,
Loser, yes.
the one with the girl?
Yeah. That's the one that I keep hearing in my head, the hook, the stupid love.
Okay. Well,
Yeah.
my background, just nobody asked me, but I'm going to tell you.
Well, please, what
Please.
what is your favorite song,
My
Miss
favorite
Producer?
is background.
Background.
Nice.
Yeah. So
Background
the
is cool.
before the last one.
Yeah.
I like the last one because it's even though sonically it's different, like I said, I still like the energy of it. I like the fact that they use you know what I mean? Like it's just really bringing back that retro 80s thing, and I just really dig it a lot. So that one to me, my favorite one.
Yeah, I agree.
So
Alright,
so you
guys.
got your little girl with you.
Yeah, man. A little teeny weeny over here.
How's she
Princess
doing?
Athena. She's doing good. She's doing good, but I guess she was patient on the ground long enough. Then she was like, I need to get in your lap if you're gonna keep doing
I have a
whatever you're doing.
feline like that.
Oh
Just
yeah.
can't. No, anytime I'm sitting on the couch and we're recording, like we're doing guides or something like that,
Yeah.
he's always got to jump on my lap. He knows the camera's on because
Yeah.
other than that, Nate, you don't see this dude. But when the camera's on, this man jumps on his, he jumps on
He's
a
like, oh,
little,
it's showtime. I'm here, baby.
yeah, I'm
Let's
here.
go.
You can't do this without me.
Meow, meow. You know what I'm saying? What we doing? So that's
So,
good, brother.
man, it was great seeing you again, reacting to another classic record with you is always dope. Very cool.
Yes, sir.
And we're gonna have a lot of fun with these boys in London. It's gonna be cool to see Jin, and we'll see who else
Yeah.
shows up because according to them, they're all gonna be there. So we'll
We'll
see.
see. We'll
We will
see.
see. This
You
is gonna
know,
be exciting, and yeah, well, I can't wait to see you too, man, because it's been a while. So
yeah.
we're gonna have to break away and go get a drink or something, do a shot or
Yeah, man.
whatever.
We'll do something, get some food or
Yeah, yeah.
some
Wait, you don't drink alcohol, do
fish
you?
and chips, mate. I drink, a little bit, a little something just
I was
depends
gonna
on the
say because in
occasion.
Atlanta, I thought you were drinking
Yeah,
on
depends on the
some thug
occasion.
passion or something like that.
Thug passion. Whoa, what's happening?
Yeah, no, that drink in Atlanta. I thought you were drinking on that.
I've
That's
never ordered a drink called Thug Passion,
no,
brother.
okay. Well, that's a
That's-
Tupac
It's
drink.
been a
I'm
long
sorry.
time. It's been a long
I'm just
time.
being honest. I have
It's
not.
well, that shows my age. That was the
Yeah.
drink to have back in the 90s. Yeah.
Thug Passion. What is Thug Passion? Is that
It
like it's
is sour amarillo, I think it is.
sour
Yeah,
amaretto?
mixed with
Some
what is that?
grenadine.
No, that's some grenadine, but the alcohol is gin.
Oh, Jen.
Like
Yeah, I don't.
yeah, it's like a
Gin.
pineapple gin or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, gin.
Yeah, I listen to gin, but I don't drink
Drink
gin.
gin. No, I don't drink gin either.
Yeah.
Had a
That's
bad
not-
experience with gin. Never
No.
again. Ooh,
Not for me. Okay.
No. But
All
well,
right.
man, thanks for coming out, bro.
Yeah,
And
man.
we will see you in London very, very soon.
Absolutely.
And for everybody out there, please don't forget to like, subscribe, and put the notification bell on so you know the next time we drop one of these videos. And always jump on over to Nate's channel. Let him know, that
Yeah, the
came
more
from
you
our
interact with
channel.
me, the more stuff I'll do. But I got so much stuff going on. Like right now, I've missed 22 calls now.
Oh my
So I
God.
have to get back to the real grind here. But this
Yeah.
has been great. You know what I'm saying? I'm glad I had, this is like a break for me. This is like vacation, you know what I'm saying? So I appreciate
Cool.
that.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
Thank you.
man. This ain't even work, brother. We listening to wonderful music and giving
Yeah.
our thoughts on it. Like, what?
Yeah,
Where they do
man.
that? You know what I'm saying? Who this?
It's a cool job to have. I'll say that.
Yeah.
It's
So
a
I'm
cool
like,
job
hey,
to have.
if I can make this a job, that'd be excellent. But right now, you know what I'm saying? I got to make music and push technology right now.
Soon. Pronto.
Yes,
Muy
sir.
pronto. Very, very, very
Muy
soon.
pronto. Yes,
Muy
sir.
pronto. All right,
All right.
guys. You guys take it easy. And Nate, thanks for coming out. Irene, thank you for being the patient producer that you are. And we will talk to you guys soon, man. Peace out.
All right. Ciao for now, guys. Bless.